The What It Takes Radio Company presents our premier flagship program to help you perform at your very, very best. It's called How to Be a World-Class Podcaster. And today we're going to introduce you to a very important person. See if you can figure out who it might be. Greetings, and here we go. Here we go again with another adventure where we're trying to help you be a person of influence. How to be a world-class podcaster. Now, we've gone on about 5 or 6 lessons, and these are just kind of an attempt to help you understand why and how we're different, so that you will take one of our classes or courses, or you will ask us to be your producer, your guide, help you to be a world-class podcaster and to build a podcast that will make a difference in the world and in your world, and perhaps make you famous, maybe make you some money. But certainly you'll learn a lot and have a good time, and you will be changed if you do it well. I guarantee it. And it will be a positive thing for you, very much so. Now, what I'm going to do today, though, is we do have this class that you can pay for, and it's about 9 or 10 lessons. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours, and it will take you. You will learn how to begin to be a world-class podcaster as you go through each of the lessons. Now, to give you a little bit of a sample, I'm going to, right now, just kind of slide into, and you can watch now. So I'll be dressed a little differently because we put it together some time ago. It's been available for about a year. And we're continuing to make it better. Hopefully, this is part of the plan to make it better for you to see. And it's a very important lesson. I'm going to simply say this. If you want to be a world-class podcaster, there is someone you really have to get to know. That's right. And again, I have checked all of the classes out there, and none of them do this. They won't introduce you and challenge you to really get to know the person you need to know if you want to be a world-class podcaster. So take some time. This will be a little bit over 20 minutes, and it'll be well worth your while. Someone said to me, Stan, this is one of the best things I've ever done. In fact, it's better than a lot of the teaching, counseling, and even therapy that I've ever gone through. So if you want to be a world-class podcaster, you got to get to know. You need to know. Please get to know this very important person. Let's see if you can figure out who it might be. Greetings, I'm Stan Houston once again for Coaching Experience Episode 2 on how you can be a world-class podcaster. Now, I'm glad you came back because, you didn't have to. One of the truths about life and business today is everybody is carrying a remote. That's right. You don't have to watch the second program. You can just click and switch. You can click it off. People don't have to listen to the same program. Everybody in the world now has access to what I call the message selector. And if they don't like what's on the radio, on the podcast, on the television, on the video, they don't have to sit there, stand there, and put up with it. They just click. And so that's something I have to learn to do as a podcaster, as a teacher, as perhaps an entertainer. I have to keep people from being bored. I have to keep them somewhat engaged, entertained, so they keep coming back and they keep listening. So thank you for doing that. That also means you probably are a little bit more serious about this. You perhaps want to do this, and that's good. Because if you want to do this and do it well, you have to take it seriously. Anything you want to do that is worthwhile, and if you want to do it well and be successful at it, you have to take it seriously. Now, let me tell you from my experience in broadcasting and as a longtime business performance coach, I want you to learn the two words that are very important and very powerful in the marketplace today. And here they are. Stand by. We're different. That's right. We're different. There are millions of people out there, and there are thousands of people out there, and there are all kinds of businesses out there. And you know what? Guess what? They are all doing the same thing and saying the same thing that you say and do. How are you different? So we are different. Now let me tell you why I'm different from almost all of those other classes and courses that you could take. This is not how to do podcasting. It is how to be a podcaster. All of those other classes, for the most part, and I've gone through them all, and it seems to prepare for this one is, what they do is they say, okay, here you go, and get a microphone, and get a computer, and they go through what they want you to do to be able to stand in front of a microphone and do a podcast. And all of the equipment that you will need, and how you do it, and how you record it, and how you edit it, and perhaps how you then place it on a platform and push the button and publish it, and hopefully make some money off it, or get some listeners, get some people who may even support you. We will do that, but that's not the important thing. What's important is that you understand that you are the message. You make the difference. You are the difference in your podcast. And I don't want you just to do a podcast. I want you to learn what it's like to be a broadcaster, because broadcasting is not just a job. For those who do it well, it's kind of a way of life. It's speaking and teaching and entertaining and connecting with people. And it's a way of doing this because you're interesting and you're engaging and you're good at what you do. Just because you learn how to stand in front of a microphone and press the record button doesn't mean you'll be any good at this. You have to learn what it means and what it takes to be a broadcaster. There's a lot of talent and skill and abilities. Some of them take 20 to 30 years before you get really good at it. You have to work maybe hundreds of hours, maybe thousands of hours to really be good at it. I'm pretty good, and that's what I did for many years. I've been at this for almost 45 years. And so that's what I mean when I say it's how to be a podcaster who's very good at what they are and what they do and how they perform and how people get to know them, trust them, listen to them, believe them, follow them, and as someone would say, and send you money. It's you. It's not just your program. In fact, you make the difference, because there's probably lots of people out there saying and doing and singing the same thing you do, but what will be the difference is you. We're different. Now, before you can then do a podcast, there's one person you really have to meet. And I mean this. There's a person you have to meet and get to know. And I'd like to introduce that person to you today. Okay? Here's what I want you to do. Perhaps turn the video off for a while and go over and look in a mirror. Yes, the person I want you to meet is you. Maybe for the first time. You! You have to know something about you. I have discovered in my many years of working in life and business, teaching and broadcasting, that very few people really know who they are. And almost nobody knows what they really want out of life. I've discovered that perhaps only 3 people out of 100 are the kind of people who they know who they are. They know what they want out of life. They know how to go for it. They've set strong, powerful personal goals, and they've overcome all kinds of difficulties. And they are strong and tough, and when things knock them down, they get back up because they know what they want and what they want to achieve. And they're going to keep trying to do something. 30 years ago, I had an idea, and somebody made it crash. And it's been gone for 30 years. But I've never forgot that. And now that I'm at this stage in my life, I'm going to try it again, because that's what I want to do. So, what I want you to do is get to know you in some fairly significant ways. In fact, I know that one person told me, he said, Stan, this podcasting course taught me that I don't want to be a podcaster. I want to do something else. But I'm internally grateful, because if I hadn't taken your podcasting course, I wouldn't know that I didn't know me. I wouldn't know what I wanted in life. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. Now, I can honestly say that it was probably 40 years into my life before I really knew who I am and what I want to do. And it happened because I had a bit of a casualty. I mean, a tremendous casualty in my life and career. And it forced me to take what my life was at that point. And I had been very successful, and I'd done a lot of good stuff. And I had achieved many things. But I wasn't able to bring it all together to say, this is who I am. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get to know you by perhaps doing these few things. First of all, I want you to tell me. But first of all, tell yourself, what do you really want out of life? What do you want? What do you want to have? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? Can you tell me? Can you tell me 20 things? 10 things? 5 things? 3 things that you really hope to achieve in your life? Can you tell me, finally, at my age and stage, pretty soon, they're going to bury me or burn me up or something, but how do I want them to talk about me after I'm gone? What do I want them to say? What do I want them to say about my relationships with them, my character, my achievements? How do I want to be remembered? I want you to go through an exercise where you actually say, this is what I want out of my life. And the reason I'm going to do a podcast is because it will help me get what I want. It will help me get one of the things I want. Now, what's your story? Now, you will notice that one of the things I do is when I meet someone new, I never say, what do you do? Their job, obviously, which is very interesting that when we say, what do you do? We usually mean their job. And of course, why don't we ask them other things? Well, what do you do? Or where are you from? Typical questions. I never do that. When I meet someone, I say, hi, good to meet you. I'm Stan. Tell me, what's your story? It always stops them. What's your story? I don't have a story. I said, oh, yes, you do. Everybody has a story. What's yours? And then I may help them begin. But let me ask you, what's your story? There you are now. You're 20, 25, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. A lady just began a podcast that's very, very successful. And she just began it, and she's 80. and doing wonderfully well and having the time of her life. Okay, what's your story? How would you answer that question? Because when you start to answer it, I'll find out a lot about you. And by the way, when you start to think about that, you're going to find out a lot about who you really are. Describe you. Give me 7 words that kind of describe you. 7 words that describe you. Can you do that? Would you like some help with that? Well, I'm really good at helping people do just that. In effect, how are you different? What makes you really different from almost everybody else? What do you do that hardly anybody else can do? What can you do that nobody really knows that you do? How are you different? What are you really good at? Everybody's good at something. What are you really good at? What interests you? What really, turns your clock, turns you on? What really interests you? What fascinates you? Okay, can you tell me that? Now, do you see what I'm getting at? And that's for you. Okay, you're standing in front of a microphone and it's about you, from you, about things you know about, things you care about, things that are important to you. Well, let's find out about you so you will know what to say and what to do and what to talk about so you can know you. By the way, here's a fun thing to do right now. When anybody asks you, how's life or how's business, what you doing? Here's what I want you to say. I'm just starting to do a podcast. And then you say, and I'm probably going to turn it into a book. Now they're going to say, oh, that's nice. Oh, no, they're not. They're going to say, what's it about? Why are you doing that? And all of a sudden you're involved in a conversation. What's your podcast about? I've heard about that. Why are you going to do that? What's it about? So when you say, I'm writing a book, or I'm doing a podcast, you automatically are becoming a broadcaster because you're in a conversation with people, and then you'll turn the question on them. Well, what's new in your life? What are some of the things you're doing that are new? What would you like to do? Hey, yeah. Or here's a great question, or a good answer that'll cause a question. I'm quitting my job. I'm quitting my job. And they'll say, what? Now, by the way, even if you're not really quitting your job, you're thinking about it. So perhaps you can say, I'm quitting my job. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to do something different. And immediately people are curious and they want to know why. Because those are some of the same questions that they have in their life. So think about that. What do you really believe in? If I gave you 20 minutes to talk to some of the most significant people in the world who could help you in your life and business, in your industry, and they were going to listen to you, and you were going to tell them, these are 3 of the most important things that I believe in. I believe. I believe in. I believe this. This is true. This is more important than anything else to me. You should be thinking about this. We should be doing this. What do you believe in? Think about that. All right? Give your podcast a name right now. After you've done this, give your podcast a name. Now, that's not going to be the final name. I'm pretty sure of that. But right now, What would it be titled? What would it be titled? Okay. And then, what would it be about? And who do you want to listen to it? And we'll talk about those people in episode 3. Because you see, podcasting is not about you broadcasting, it's about you having a conversation with one person. If you want to be a good broadcaster, you do exactly what I'm doing right now. You imagine they're right there, and I have a picture. I'm talking to one specific person that I have in mind, that I want them to hear this. It's one person having a conversation with a friend. So, who do you want to talk to? Who are they? What are they like? What would be your name that you would use? By the way, I've sometimes used a stage name. You know, Stan Houston isn't the sexiest name in the world. So sometimes I, in certain situations, have used a different name. It's okay. Actors do it all the time, and I'm an actor. Performers do it all the time. Radio personalities often takes a name. Rush Limbaugh, that's not his real name. It's the name he has. What would be your name? One of the things I used to do at a seminar is I would tell people to put on their name tag, put the name you want to be known by today. Just choose a name. You can't use your own name. But for today, you're going to be somebody else. No, you're going to be you, but you're going to have a different name. Which might mean that maybe you ought to be somebody else. What's your name? Think about that. Now you see what kind of fun we can begin to have? Now, this is what I want you to be able to do based on what you have done in this kind of search. Let's say I find you kind of interesting. And I think maybe you are a person who could do a good podcast. And so I decide to introduce you to a friend of mine. And this friend of mine just delights in helping people start new ventures. And this person might say to you, I'll give you $10,000 to help start your podcast. I'll give it to you. You can have it. Just start doing a podcast. If you can tell me what it will be about and what it will be like and how it will help people. You're going to get $10,000 if you can tell this, a fine person, hey, I'm going to do this. And it's going to be about this. And it's going to be for these people. And this is what I am hoping and praying and working hard to do that will make a difference in their life. Can you do that? Well, thank you for giving me your time today, because I've caused you, hopefully, to take seriously meeting you and being able. If you really want to be good at this, if you want to make a difference in the world, the first person you have to meet is you. And I'm looking forward to meeting you too. I'm Stan Houston. This is the end of episode 2 on how to be, not just do, how to be a world-class podcaster. And I hope that you will come back for lesson 3. Just me and thee for lesson 3. Take care. We'll see you around. Bye for now. Please reach out to me, Stan Houston, at stan@witradio.net. Witradio.net is our website, and 520-664-7002 USA.